Guys, it's been a long time coming. It's finally time that I go ahead and bite the bullet on doing something that I've been saying I'll do and something I've been meaning to do since literally forever now, because honestly I've been holding out on doing this since far too long now. So it's finally time that I jump into the deep end. I throw myself into one of the most iconic fandoms of all time, and it's finally time I go ahead and read the Summer I Turned Pretty books. So this is the official vlog of me actually doing something I've been saying I will do or whatever for the past 3 summers now, and it's finally time that we jump into probably the most fun and iconic video of all time, because this is going to be surreal. This is such a monumental moment, and listen, I've been waiting so long to do this that I'm so excited and hyped up right now. For context, I'm currently in the worst reading slump of my life, and if there's anything I think that can fix it, it's probably gonna be these books, because from what I've seen online, they're the perfect mix of cute summer beach house romances but with emotional depth, and there's Taylor Swift references, and there's also a show you can go ahead and binge if you haven't already got enough of these characters by the time you're done with these books, which is perfect because the fangirl in me is screaming in absolute delight right now. There's this whole fully fleshed out fandom I can get to with more fun people to talk about my new favorite characters once I get to these books now. And listen, I can't wait to get into a new world to hyperfixate over, because that's my favorite thing to do. And if there's ever a peak moment in human history, honestly, to be joining a fandom, it's probably right now, because the last season of the show actually drops in a couple days. So this feels like, honestly, god perfect and iconic timing. This has lined up coincidentally to be absolutely correct, and I know this is going to fix my slump, which is why I'm finally going to go ahead and, even though I have all 3 books right now, firstly go ahead and jump into the first book in the series, catch up on what the internet has been hyperfixating over. And so I'm gonna go start. I'll come update in a little bit once I have some progress made with my thoughts and opinions. And listen, this is gonna be the best time ever. I already know it, and so I'm so happy and excited that I finally get to do this, because it's been forever, it's been years, and I'm getting to it now, and I'm so excited. Honestly, I've been anticipating this for so long now that, listen, we're doing it. We're actually doing it now. Okay guys, so it's only a couple hours later, but I have gotten in some decent progress on my book. I'm now on page 86, chapter 18, 1/3 of the way through. Decent, chunk has been finished. But before I give you updates on my book, please ignore the fact that I have this random sheet thing hanging on my window in the background. It's because yesterday my curtain rod actually collapsed, and thank god no one got injured in the first place. But now I'm kind of hesitant to hang my rod back up, because if it falls again, who's to say it won't be dangerous the second time around, which is why we're actually waiting on some sort of professional to come look at it before I hang it back up, which is why this thing is to stay for the next couple days, so please ignore it in the background throughout this video. But now back to my book for like a quick summary and premise of The Summer I Turned Pretty. It follows this girl called Belly, and she and her mom and her brother kind of have this thing wherein every year, as soon as the school year kind of concludes, they go and they leave their hometown life behind to escape for the summer to this place called Cousins Beach. So Belly's mom actually has this best friend who's called Susanna, and Susanna on Cousins Beach owns this like beach house. So every summer they kind of leave their school life and everything else behind in their hometown, and they leave to go to Cousins Beach to kind of spend the summer, every summer since she's been born, at that beach house with Susanna and her 2 sons, Conrad and Jeremiah. And the thing with that is that Belly, ever since she's ever remembered, she's always been in love with Conrad, one of Susanna's sons. Now he, however, is the almost like bad boy, meanish, standoffish almost type, aloof, wherein he has feelings but he's got this like rough exterior, soft interior, and so he doesn't really show it, which is why you don't really know if he likes her back. But this moment, or at least this summer, feels very different, because this is the summer she finally feels pretty, and she's wondering if everything's going to be different now, because now she's starting to see interest from other guys. There's this new guy who's going to come into the picture according to the back of the book. His brother Jeremiah is also giving her looks, but at the same time her heart has always longed to like Conrad or whatever, so she's wondering if this is going to be the summer that changes everything, because now she feels pretty and maybe he'll like reciprocate, maybe he'll like her back, and it feels like a teenage coming of age story, which is why I'm obsessed. If you know the feeling of the old like 2000s movies or whatever, this is what it's giving, which is why I'm so excited to get to the show now, because I know the vibes are going to be so immaculate. And listen, I'm addicted to this. Like, I'm honestly so mad at myself for having put it off for so many years at this point, because I've owned these books, I think, for like 3 years at this point, but I've just been putting it off every single summer for 2 reasons. One, because I was, kind of scared to actually burst my bubble, because I knew I was gonna like it, but if I didn't like it thanks to the love triangle, I was scared that, listen, I'd be heartbroken. And number 2, because what if I liked it too much and then I would have to wait for the show to come out, which is why I'm doing it at the point where now the last season of the show kind of comes out in 2 days, which is why I'm definitely not finishing the rest of the books and the rest of the seasons in 2 days, and I will have content to catch up on. I don't have to wait, which is why either way I'm still mad at myself for having put it off, but regardless, I'm happy I'm reading at the time I'm reading it now, because it feels perfect for everything that's going on right now in my life. I also actually think the story found me at the right time, because there's so much in this that I relate to. Belly specifically, in the very first chapter, she's sitting in the passenger side in her brother's car or whatever. He's driving and he's going really slow, so she's just like, oh my god, hurry up or whatever, playing the radio, and then she's singing along in this like really bad musical voice. And like, I relate to so much of that, because as a person who's currently learning how to drive, I personally, I am a bit of like an overspeeder, not too much, but also I can't really drive very slow, and so already relating to that, and the fact that when the radio is going, I'm singing in my worst voice, but I'm gonna sing anyway because I don't care, and so much I'm loving about this. Also the fact that the chapter I just finished, Jeremiah, one of the brothers, he was teaching her how to drive stick shift, and I'm nearly done learning, I guess, how to drive stick, which honestly feels perfect, because can you imagine the chances that she's doing it and I'm doing it at the same time in real life, and I can relate to so much they're talking about. But then not just that, if you've ever felt the whole falling in love for the first time, true feelings or whatever kind of vibe, this book is essentially the depiction of that. It's also like a perfect depiction of the song August by Taylor Swift, wherein you're feeling all the summer first love kind of vibes, and sticky summer air, there's all this like love going around in the background, it's kind of unsure, but also your feelings are true, and like, listen, I'm obsessed. This is giving me everything I needed it to give me, and I'm just gonna say it outright. I think it's gonna be 5 stars. The way it's going right now, if it continues at the same pace, I'm swooning, I'm giggling, I'm getting so giddy. I'm loving the love in this, but also I'm loving the friendships and the found family or whatever. And listen, this book is giving me everything it needed to give me, so I think it's gonna be 5. I'm just gonna say it now. And yeah, I'm happy about my read so far. I'm also obsessed with all of the side characters, and like, listen, I know Jenny Han hasn't written like other books, but please can we get like other side perspectives at some point or whatever, because like, listen, I'm addicted to it. I'm like loving all the like family moments they're all having together, but then also the romantic moments are so cute, and I'm just gonna say it alright from the get-go, from right now onwards. I think I'm gonna be like a Team Conrad girl. Like, Jeremiah's alright, but he said this like one passing offhanded remark to her friend, and suddenly that put me off. And then Conrad from the very beginning, I don't know, I'm just getting the butterflies every time there's some sort of scene with him, which is why I think I'm addicted. I always like the whole doesn't really say too much, but once he starts showing his actions, they actually mean really deep shit. And listen, I'm so obsessed. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that I'm actually currently listening on audio, because not that I don't like my physical read of this, it's just that I saw online that the audiobook is narrated by the same woman who's playing Belly in the TV show, and I kind of want to get used to the voice. I've heard that universally it's a great experience if you want to pick up the audiobook, but then also I'm a college kid, I need assignments to get done, I have a thumbnail I need to be making to be posting tonight, and I also want to go ahead and later paint my nails this beautiful shade of red that I always do, which is why I need some sort of audiobook going anyway, and so it's kind of perfect that I'm listening on audio and getting this done. But also on audio, when I download it, it says it's only 6 hours long, and because I'm listening on 2x speed, I'll be done in 3 hours, which means we're definitely finishing this tonight and we can get to the next one tomorrow, and by the time the show comes out, I'll be done with the books, and then we can start watching the shows maybe in like a different vlog together. So it feels crazy, feels like it's lining up, and it feels perfect. And this book, to me, I can't even describe it, but the way I feel, it's just such like a wholesome, I don't know, heartwarming, full feeling I'm feeling so warm from within that, listen, I'm obsessed. If you haven't already, take this as your sign to go ahead and pick this up this summer, because everything about it just feels so perfect, and I already know I'm going to reread every single year because I'm addicted. If it continues the way it's going, this is going to be like a 6-star god tier series for me, and this is exactly what I needed to get out of my reading slump, so it kind of feels perfect and I'm obsessed with this. One last thing I'm going to mention before I leave, I'm listening on 2x the audiobook, not 4x, because generally when I tend to enjoy audiobooks, I don't want them to get over fast, and I put them on 2x, and it's a really good sign that the book is about to become 5 stars, because every time I'm doing some sort of reread, like Beach Read or like The Paradise Problem or whatever, some classics I always get back to, I always put it on 2x because I don't want to finish the book too fast, and the fact that I'm doing it for my first read of this in the first place or whatever is a really good sign that I'm really loving it, and I don't want this to get over too fast, because once it does, I'm gonna be heartbroken. So there's a lot I have to go obsess over still. I want to go look up like casting and everything, and see trailers and stuff, but until I go do that, I'm gonna go get through with my book and maybe update later in the night once I'm done now, because I already know I'm gonna breeze by. The chapters are so short and easy to get through, and every time I finish one I just want another, like an M&M. Can't stop myself. And so I'm gonna go get back to it, kind of continue listening as I finish off my work, and I'm having the best time now, so nothing's gonna stop me now. I'm gonna catch up with you all maybe later now once I have more thoughts, but so far it's very relatable. I can feel honestly every aspect of it, and I'm obsessed. I love everything about this, and it's been a while since I've felt this way about a book, so let's keep the happy vibes going, crossing my fingers and praying it continues this way, because I love this so much. I get the hype now. Okay guys, so it's now the next evening. I have come in for more updates on my book because I'm like nearly done. I'm on page 235, chapter 40, and I wanted to quickly update before I go ahead and finish it out, because listen, if no one stops me, I know I'm just gonna binge the entire thing without being held back or whatever. I can go wild with this shit if I want to, and so really quickly wanted to update with some semi-final thoughts before I go conclude the book out, because I know it's gonna hurt, but I want to see it through. But before anything, the curtain has gone back up because our professional or whatever, he did come in and he did say that something collapsed internally, so it's a good thing I didn't hang it back up or whatever. My mom made the right call on that, because otherwise it would probably harm someone. But he's gone ahead and fixed it, so now we don't have to look at a random sheet in my background anymore, which is kind of perfect. But now moving back to my book, in case anyone cares or whatever about that situation, when I tell you I could have literally just finished this last night, because I stayed up till like 3:30 and it was like a school college day today, but I still stayed up till 3:30 kind of listening, kind of getting my shit done, and I just didn't feel like stopping. Like truly I was so productive yesterday, getting so much shit done, because I just didn't want to stop with my book, stop listening. Because can I just quickly say, the audiobook, it's done so perfectly well. Like the narrator or whatever, I'm gonna have to go look up if she's like done more audiobooks or whatever and just listen to them for her sake, because the way she talks is kind of like you talking with your best friend and you guys are giggling together, you all can't hold it back, speaking about each other's lives and stuff. And truly the way she's done it, like if this is what she talks like, I cannot wait to start binging the show, because Belly is gonna be so iconic and perfect. And about the show as well, the new season drops tomorrow. The way I'm fangirling so hard over the series right now, I'm looking up Pinterest aesthetics, I'm looking up the cast, I'm so excited to watch the show now. All my friend group or whatever, they have seen it and they're like gearing up as well to watch the next season, so everyone's got those vibes going, and truly the aesthetic is perfect. I can't even wait to like go start making Spotify playlists for this, and you know I'm down bad for a book once I do that. So basically the fangirl gene has kicked in really hard for this book. Nothing has changed since the last time I spoke to you. It's still 5 stars. I know I'm gonna end it very soon, but listen, I think it's perfect the way it is, and I'm just gonna have to give it, because the entire time I'm listening to the book, I have this like dopey stupid grin on my face, and it just isn't falling off no matter what. I'm swooning so hard, but also there's so many other comforting moments with family, the found family aspect, and that dynamic is so cute. Even the fact that Susanna, the mom of the boys, she constantly ships Belly with her sons and like is promoting it, and she's always just like, I knew it would be for one of my boys. Like stop, that's so sweet. And the whole dynamic with the moms and the family and like everything that's going on, like listen, I'm so obsessed. I actually am freaking in love with this. And about that as well, this book actually feels like the first time you're falling in love, if that would be like a depiction in literary form. So it feels perfect to me. I'm probably gonna go get back to it. Like I said, I could have finished today because there wasn't a lot left. I could have finished last night itself, but I decided I don't want to squander the rest of it. I kind of want to make it last and drag it out, because you know it's a good thing when I'm doing that. You know it's definitely 5 stars, and you know that listen, I can't wait to like reread this at some point. That's also a good sign that I'm reading it and I'm planning a reread already, because if I don't want to get done with the book, I know I'm addicted, I know I'm obsessed, I know this is my new comfort favorite bird, and I can't wait to see where it goes, but also I don't want it to ever finish. So Jenny Han, can you please write a million books in this universe, because I'd like buy and read them all. But regardless, I'm gonna get back to it now, because this morning I just didn't feel like wasting the audiobook while I was stuck in traffic or whatever, and then while coming back in the afternoon, college let out really late and I was too tired to be, you know, worrying about hyper fixating on that in the traffic again, because let's be so for real, I wanted to enjoy it when I had the peace of mind and when I actually wanted to go ahead and finish it out, not have bad experiences or whatever associated with it. And now that it's finally time, I can't wait to lock in, because I've been staring with heart eyes at this book the entire day. So I'm probably gonna go get back to it. I'm actually so obsessed and addicted and can't wait to, because if you ever have been to like some sort of slumber party or like a sleepover with your best friends when you were younger, all of you kind of like huddling under your blankets or whatever, way past bedtime or whatever and just giggling about random shit and like trying not to be too loud and whispering and like eating snacks that are hidden away under. That's what this book feels like. It feels like a comforting like slumber party with all of your best friends or whatever, and you're watching them all go down. And while I don't necessarily like her best friend, she feels like my best friend, and so I can't wait to see where the story goes. I'm so addicted and obsessed. And even the love triangle in this is actually done really well because I don't hate either of the guys. Whoever she gets with, I don't even care because I'm rooting for Belly, not the guys. But at the same time, if I had to pick one, I'm still Team Conrad because there's something about that man I cannot help it. So I'm gonna go get back to it. This is like my new comfort thing literally ever, and can't wait to go maybe get to the show soon because I've seen the aesthetic and vibe for it and it looks perfect. And I can't wait for the Taylor Swift songs to start pouring in as well because this is everything to me. This is like literally my newest Roman Empire. No one says that anymore, but I'm gonna say it anyway because this is perfect. And so here we are. I'm gonna go get back to my read of this. It's kind of hurting me, the fact that I'm gonna be done soon and I'll never be able to read for the first time again, but also I plan on carrying every single one of these books again next year when I go on vacation with me or whatever to my summer beach town. So it's gonna be perfect once I do that because it's a good sign that I'm planning a reread when I'm reading, like I said. So I can't wait to get back to the reread. It's just that it's gonna hurt that I'll never have it for the first time again, which is why I'm holding out. But I'm gonna go now, finish it. I don't know why I was ever scared that I wouldn't like it because I don't actually see a universe where I would not like this, like ever, because I know people online find it frustrating. I don't even care. I'm so addicted to everything about this. It's too perfect to me. There's so many thoughts we've had that are the exact same. And yeah, I'm relating to this a little bit too hard. Even the first page actually says, or at least has her brother saying, that people like her shouldn't deserve to get a driving license because of the way she drives. And like, as someone who's going to be going for her exam very soon for the license, I hope that's not a premonition. But then also there's so many things adding up that I feel like I found this at the exact right time in my life, and I'm so happy I held out till whatever time now, because truly I don't actually see another time being more perfect to be reading this. And I'm gonna go get back to it now because this is like my new favorite addiction ever. Literally selling the idea of reading this to everyone who hasn't already in my real life friend circle and now on camera as well. So this is your sign to get to these books if you haven't already. And yeah, I'm gonna go get to it now myself and finish it out. Be a little sad that I will be done, but also it's gonna be fun seeing where this goes, and I can't wait to get into the next book. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow now once I've gone ahead and finished this and started this, because I think I will be listening on the ride over. I don't know, it really depends on my mood in the moment, but we'll see. Whatever. Bye. If coming of age, teen, peak, summer romances, movies or whatever were made a book, if falling in love for the first time were made a book, it'll probably be this one. So please get to it if you haven't already. That's all. I'm going now, like actually. Okay, I'm about to finish, and I quickly just wanted to hop in and say that this one has so much more depth than just like a teen summer romance or whatever. There's like emotions, and there's like heartbreak and love and friendship and family, and there's so many other things happening in the background with the side characters as well. And while I don't really like her best friend, all the other side characters, like I'm loving their storylines, and I love the way it's happening. And like truly, this is the time to be alive. This is the time to actually go ahead and pick this up, because it's so much more than it's being marketed as, and I wasn't really seeing that coming, which is why it's hitting me so much harder than I thought it would. And it's obviously 5 stars, but I'm gonna go finish it out now. It's just something I quickly wanted to add before I go and do so. So yeah, pick this up because it's so much deeper than you'd expect, and it's got so many good one-liners, and I never thought that would be coming. I never saw it coming, but here we are anyway. Gut punch in my face. Absolutely obsessed with this book, and I can't see another lifetime where I wouldn't be addicted, because truly, how can you not? This is actually so damn perfect. Hi guys, so it's now the next evening. It's now 16th of July, it's a Wednesday, and before anything there's a couple of things I want to address. So number 1, happy birthday Luke Hemmings, just wanted to get that out there. Number 2, happy release day, because today is finally the day the 3rd season of the show came out, which means now I can go ahead and binge these books without any sort of hesitation, because I don't have to worry about waiting for the show. The whole reason I actually put it off for so long was number 1, because I was scared I wouldn't like the love triangle. Clearly no, that's not really an issue. And number 2, because I didn't want to love these books too much, in the sense that I'm so obsessed and now I don't see life continuing until the show comes out, because genuinely that's happened to me before with other things, and I don't want to risk it, because that's the worst kind of feeling when you know something ends on like a cliffhanger and you have to wait like literally years for it to come. And so now that it's already out and I know I can binge the whole thing in one go, so happy because now I can go ahead and read all my books without worrying. And lastly, number 3, happy waffle day. That's the whole reason I'm coming in so late to update, because that's where my entire day went. So I'm going to catch you up on the story time before we get into this. But basically today I found out thanks to my mom last night that today was waffle day, and there were a bunch of like schemes going around in like the local waffle diners and stuff. So after college I decided, listen, I'm in a waffle mood, so figured I'd just go like check the place out, see what's going with terms of deals or whatever, and maybe get some back for the house. As it turns out, the place where I went to, like all the other places as well, they had like such a long ass wait line. I was standing there for literally 1 hour. So worth it, because me and my sister just ate our waffles. I know it's late, but we still had them anyway. And when I tell you, it was so damn worth it, because I would do that 10 times over again. Such a great experience. And now this day has been truly like cemented in my memory as such a perfect one, because I know I stood there an hour for the waffles, but they were so worth it now, and they're gonna go eat theirs and tell me how they like it or whatever. But listen, happy waffle day. If you guys did it as well, give me your waffle stories, because now I know I'm gonna hold out every 16th July to do this, because it was such an iconic day. And so basically all the wait time and how far it is from home and all of that, by the time I came back home it was really late. Ended up taking a quick nap because I was too tired, and so that's why most of my day has gone. It is night time now. I don't know how much reading I'll get in, but I will try my hardest to get quite a bit in, because I have a bunch of things I need to be completing with audiobooks. So I think it's kind of perfect. But to catch you up, since the last time I spoke to you now about the books, basically I went ahead and I finished listening out to The Summer I Turned Pretty, the first book in the series. And so I have a couple of thoughts I'll give you finally before we jump into speaking about the second book, which I went ahead and started next. I feel like these books are the epitome of summer. Like if you told me that this is what summer is defined with, I would believe you, because that's what it feels like. It also feels like what falling in love for the very first time is. And if you took 5 specific Taylor Swift songs, August, like I said before, Wildest Dreams, Daylight, Cruel Summer, and The Way I Loved You, and all those 5 songs had a baby, it'd probably be this book, because those 5 are literally like the definition of this book. If I have to explain this book to someone in terms of songs, those are the 5 I'd pick, because when I tell you, the vibes from those 5 books literally show up all the time in this. And like, if those are your favorite Taylor Swift songs, because they're my favorites, and if you want something similar in terms of like a book rack, pick this up, because this is truly it. And lastly, about this book specifically, I feel like it's a really good depiction of the teenage experience, because there's like a bunch of things going on in terms of like emotions and new relationships and like friendship and family and how things are gonna go about, and like spending summers and all these like other bunch of things that I feel like if you are a teenager, or even if you aren't and you just want something nostalgic to read about, this feels very comforting in the sense that it's like an old blanket that will keep you warm and, you know, cozy. And so even though that's a weird description, definitely try picking these up this summer, because truly this is the time to be alive, especially when I'm reading these, and I'm having the best time ever. I did go ahead and give this 4.5 stars though, and before you all come at me because I said a couple times it's gonna be 5, the thing is, when I finished I was questioning if it was 4.5 or 5, and that's not usually a great sign, because if I'm questioning it, if I'm not really sure, then I'm gonna assume it's 4.5 automatically, because if it was 5 I wouldn't be questioning it. So I am giving it 4.5 for now. At the end of the video I'll give you final ratings once I've read the entire series and made up my mind, because I'm a Gemini here, always indecisive. But until then, I have gone ahead and finished this book, and I'm just gonna say it, I know Conrad is emotionally unavailable. I'm still so down bad for him. I think he's it for me. So team Conrad all the way. If you're team Jeremiah, do not tell me. That's literally it. Do not tell me and do not come after me, because what else am I supposed to say? And then, now that I finished reading about my favorite people ever, instantly I went ahead, downloaded the next audiobook, because I don't see any option going forward. And as it turns out, another cast member from The Summer I Turned Pretty is narrating in this one as well. So one of the guys, the one who's playing Jeremiah, is now narrating with Belly in this, and I'm having the best time ever, because truly, listen, now I need Conrad's narration as well if we get one in the next book, because audiobook is the way to go. If you're reading the series, please check it out. If you're rereading, again, it's your sign to do so, because it's so good. But basically, downloaded that. It's another 6 hours or so, and because it'll be 3 for me since I'm listening on 2x, I should be done basically in no time. And now that the show is out, I don't even need to hold back, because once I'm done, I'm starting that show instantly. It's gonna be the show of the summer for me. But until then, this book basically takes place after the events of this one. And if you don't want to listen to like any kind of summary, you should probably skip over this clip. But I'm gonna try to be as vague as I possibly can. So even if you haven't read the books or whatever, I'm not spoiling anything. This is like a non-spoilers vlog. It's just gonna be very random and out of context, and you won't understand what it's about unless you've read it. So you can stay or you can skip the clip, it's really up to you. But now that's your final warning. I'm actually gonna get into it now. Basically, life as Belly knows it has completely flipped on over on its end because two different things happened. There's one event that there's no going back from it absolutely whatsoever, and number two, because something happened between Conrad and Belly and suddenly, you know, things fizzled out or whatever and things are just not the same anymore. So this summer is actually gonna be the first summer she's not going to Cousins Beach, and she just doesn't have that beach house to go to anymore, and summers are never gonna be the way they used to be. And you know, she's having all these feelings where now she's grown up and there's other things going on in her life and it's just never gonna be the same, and you know, she's scared of all of that. But as all of that's happening, she's now at home with her friend Taylor, who is now trying to get her to do normal teenage things or whatever, so like hang out with boys or go to parties and stuff. And Belly's mind just isn't in it because of event number one, which makes a lot of sense if you read it, because I cried. I literally cried. That's all I'm gonna say. But basically, in the midst of all of this happening, one day out of nowhere, Jeremiah gives Belly a call and he's just like, Conrad's gone missing. So now, even though Belly had her heart broken by Conrad, she's gonna go with Jeremiah, try to find Conrad, see what's up, see what's gone wrong, because she cannot risk something happening to him if she hadn't had tried in the first place. And now she's wondering if this is gonna be yet another summer where she's pining after Conrad and he just cannot reciprocate emotionally, because a bunch of things have happened. You can't really blame the guy. It's a lot of external influences, but at the same time it's kind of sad because it's very much right person wrong time, and the way it's portrayed in this book, truly, listen, Jenny Han, you deserve every single award on this planet. These books are my books at this point. They're such peak god tier books for me that, listen, I'm just gonna have to keep rereading this honestly this summer. Like, I'm not gonna read anything else. Leave my TBR, let it go to damn hell. I'm just gonna keep going back and forth between these books because truly it's done so well, and I'm kind of sensing like a second chance over here. So I actually managed to get like 50 pages in last night before I figured I'm a little tired, gonna get to bed. But basically now I'm on page 49, chapter 7, and from where I'm gonna pick off now, because she just got the call and she's actually gonna start heading out to find Conrad, I believe we will get some sort of friends to love a second chance in this. So hoping that's the case, because second chance is literally my favorite trope ever, and so that would truly make the best time, because these books are like summer beach house romances, my favorite type of romances to begin with. And if it's throwing in my favorite trope, that's the whole meal deal, the real big combo. And listen, that's literally all I want right now. So I'm really happy. I'm gonna go get back into it. These covers are also gorgeous. I just want to mention them really quick because I have these ones, but right now, as far as I can tell, in my country at least, they're only selling people covers, and so happy I managed to snag these in time, because now one of my friends wants to read it but she just cannot find these covers, and so I think she's probably going to end up borrowing mine, but she can't find it because the people covers are the only ones that are there. So now I'm thinking I got really lucky with them, and I keep admiring them because how cute are they? They literally represent the vibe of the book perfectly. But now I do believe the vibe of this one specifically is just going to go more sadder and more emotional, and there'll be more depth because of certain events that have taken place. And so I'm ready with my tears and hankies because I know I'm going to be crying so hard, and I'm kind of ready for it. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. So I'm still Team Conrad. We're going strong here, and we'll see how it goes. But so excited to see him pop up now because these are my books. Literally, these are my books. I swoon so hard. I feel every emotion. I feel every feeling. Maybe I'm feeling a little too much, but here we are. I'm gonna go get back to it. I don't know if I'll finish it by the time I speak to you next, but I do want to see if I can get my nails done. So we'll see what happens. But I'll see you all hopefully now tomorrow because it's a little too late to come back in and update. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go actually listen and have the best time ever because I know this is gonna hurt, but I'm ready for it. I know I said I wouldn't come back into update because it's late, but then I figured I have one thing to say because I continued reading and it just keeps popping up in my head and I don't want to forget. So here we are. I kind of lied to you, but basically this book I forgot to mention, it's got past and present timeline in summer. So there's only Belly's perspective, but it goes back and forth. And here's the first time I think I might be in the underrated kind of hot takes club or whatever, because I actually eat that shit up every single time. I love the emotional build up that it gives you, and I love the connection it establishes with the characters because now they feel like my little family. And listen, I know these people for like years now at this point. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how I feel, because the connection that's established, especially thanks to that, I feel like in this book should really be studied. It's done really well, and I just wanted to mention because I know people don't really like it online. It's mostly hated or whatever, but like I eat it up every single time, and I feel like this was really well done out of all the ones I've ever read. So if y'all are interested or whatever, and if you want to consider, definitely keep that in mind because it's done so well and I loved every second. And then this one on the other hand, I don't think it has past and present, at least as of right now. The first like little bit that I'm into, it doesn't, but it does have alternating like perspectives. So we have some of Belly, and then we just got like one chapter of Jeremiah, and it's going back and forth, and I don't know how much further it'll be, but I think it's interesting because like here the connection was established different, and while we don't have past present here, we still have different like perspectives, which is very interestingly done by Jenny Han. So now I'm wondering if the next one's going to give you, the next book at least, Conrad's perspective, so you get like a deeper, I think, connection into seeing more about him or whatever, because like it's the third book in the series. You have to hold out until you can finally see his perspective and finally understand his side of things and finally watch them get together, so like the wait, the slow burn will be sweeter and worth it. But that's what I'm thinking right now. If she ends up with Conrad, that'll probably be the case, so I'm really hoping we get his POV in the next book, because that would truly make my year. But that's just something I thought of and I wanted to mention really quick before I get back into my reading. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here's how far in I am in terms of like space. So there's still quite a bit left, but also I do believe I can get it done tonight, because I am actually gonna go ahead and lock in and get so much shit done, because every time I listen to these audiobooks, I'm my most productive self. So that's gonna happen now. I'll see you all hopefully once I have either a really good chunk of this done or when I'm completely done with the book. But I'll see you when I see you. This is gonna be maybe even better than the first book, at least so far I'm feeling it. So I'll go do that and I'll see you guys in a bit. So bye. Okay guys, so now it's like an entire weekend later. I have gotten ahead and gotten quite some of the reading done for this video. So here I am to kind of come give you a bit of too much like a late update for the books, but also because this is like a non-spoiler vlog, I can't really speak about much, which is why I don't feel like we missed much. But I do believe, I'm planning in my head at least, a reread of these books next summer when it rolls around, and when it does, I will do like a full spoilers in case anyone cares or whatever. So at that point when I'm doing full spoilers, I will speak about these in depth. But right now I think it's fine that we're glossing over it, because number one, I'm speeding through the audiobooks. I literally cannot stop binging them, cannot stop, cannot help myself. And number two, it doesn't really matter anyway, because the stuff I really want to discuss are all spoilers and I don't want to give it up in this video, which is why it's alright, we didn't miss a lot. But basically I have gone ahead and spent my entire weekend basically kind of getting through this book, and I also have quite some done of the next one. But first we'll talk about this one, give you my final update on it before I get into this one. Saturday, because I did have college, I was listening to this on my commute, because I told myself that I cannot go another day without listening, and I know I didn't feel like wasting it on the commute. But then at that point in time, I genuinely felt my heart breaking if I didn't listen to that and if I listened to something else, because I truly couldn't do it. So I didn't want to put myself into a slump, which is why I went ahead and continued listening to the audiobook of It's Not Summer Without You, and I actually managed to finish this on my commute back home on Saturday itself. Except the thing with me is, as I was listening, I was in public. I still had maybe half an hour's worth of journey left once I was done, and the worst possible ending happens in this, wherein now that conclusion had me holding back tears in public, because I don't want to cry on public transportation, let everyone see that. But also I didn't have access to my copy of the next book, and I also didn't have data at that point wherein I could go ahead and download the next audiobook, which is why I was stuck up in this weird like limbo wherein I didn't know what's going to happen next. I really wanted to find out, but there was no way possible I physically could, and so I was holding back tears, having the worst time of my life, literally just staring out the window and just staring at open space, because what else am I supposed to do? So this book got me right in the feels. I feel like the emotional aspect of this hits really heavy. Out of all the three books, I feel like this might be the most, I guess, emotionally sad and depressing book, but also it's heavier as well because of the themes that are thrown in here and because of certain things, certain events that take place. So it does make sense, but also the way it happened, my little heart could not handle it. It was breaking in real time. I could literally hear the sound of it shattering, and so this really got me in the feels. I'm gonna say 4.5 stars, because that's a great rating for a book like this. And while I wasn't necessarily 5 stars looking back, I feel like this whole series is 5 stars anyway, and I'm happy I read it, I'm happy I gave it a shot, and I'm happy we got Jeremiah's perspective in this, because I feel like when you watch him start to like, develop feelings for her or whatever, and it's spoken about in the first book, because we don't have his perspective, it's kind of hard to imagine. But also watching it now, it kind of does make sense from his POV, because you actually start to see his reasoning behind it, and you watch him slowly fall in love with her and slowly are falling in love love with him as a character, and I feel like that was really well done. So it was very good of Jenny Han to actually include his POV in this. It was very necessary, because otherwise the only person I'd be deeply attached to is probably Conrad. So this did him really good favors, but I'm still team Conrad, and I still had to go ahead and mention that. But I have gone ahead and finished this book, and I can't wait to go ahead and reread this and again hold back tears, but actually this time cry them all out, because this is the book. If you want something that gives you emotional depth but also the best summer romance ever, something you want to read quickly on the beach but actually feel shit, this is the series for you, and this is this book specifically. And if you've only gone ahead and read the first book in the series, this is your sign to pick up, because this book is even better than the first one. Didn't know there'd ever be a world when I'd say that, but this truly did not fall into second book syndrome. It was so good, and it's so worth reading to continue the series, and I loved every second. So 4.5 stars, and we're still going strong with Team Conrad. Now I've gone ahead and started the third book. I also started over the weekend, and today is a Monday, so I'm thinking I'm going to lock in the rest of the night and literally just finish all of this out, because there's no way in hell I imagine myself reading anything else for the rest of the couple of days anyway. But also I kind of want to see where the story goes, especially now there's some interesting shit's been going on, which is why I managed to hit page 111, chapter 22 of We'll Always Have Summer, the third and the last book in this series. Can you see my face literally falling apart, because I know there'll be no more of this world to visit later? Yes, but also there's so much we need to dissect about this, which is why I'm going to go into it slowly but also deeply, because there's a lot to speak about. Now, for context, I will be giving a somewhat vague summary of this. If you've watched the show, you'll know what I'm speaking about. If you've read the books, you'll know what I'm speaking about. But if you want absolutely zero spoilers, skip this entire clip till whatever way it goes, and then come back in the next clip probably, when I'm going to be giving my final thoughts on this, because if I speak about this now, it will definitely ruin stuff for you if you're like a newbie in this world or whatever, and I don't want to do that. So this is your last like warning or whatever to go ahead and literally skip the entire clip, and I will catch up with you all in like 10 odd minutes maybe once I'm done speaking about this, because now I will be speaking about what happens in this book, the events of it, but also in a vague sense, so it's not like you're missing out on much. But if you want to skip, definitely go ahead and skip, because I'm not spoiling anything for anyone. I don't want that on my conscience. So basically, about this book specifically, throughout the span of the first two books, we have actually seen Belly going ahead and falling in love with the Fishers, their whole family, and now to her, spending all her summers together with them at Cousins Beach in their summer house, they feel like her own blood family to her. Susanna, the mom, she was like her own mother to Belly. Conrad, the son, he was like her first love or whatever, and now Jeremiah's her boyfriend. Don't stand with that decision. But anyway, basically that family is like her own family at this point, and now she's suddenly getting the one thing she's truly always wanted, to be a Fisher, because Jeremiah, her boyfriend, actually kind of asks her to marry him. So she goes ahead, she says yes, and suddenly now they're back at Cousins Beach or whatever. They're planning out their wedding, and they want to do it in the summer house, except while she's over there, she keeps running her paths in with Conrad, the other brother, the one she actually has loved since literally forever, her first love. And now he confesses that he kind of regrets letting her go. He's always loved her, and he's asking her to be with him and not Jeremiah. And suddenly now it's up to the final conclusion of the trilogy, wherein Belly finally needs to go ahead and decide who she wants to actually end up with. And she realizes that now, even though they feel like family, it's time that she needs to break one of these guys' hearts, because she can't pick both of them, and she needs to end up choosing the right guy, her soulmate forever potentially, because that's the end. That's finally time that she's actually going to choose. And so that's the storyline. The first thing I'm going to say right now, the only thing that's popping in my head, is the fact that even though we're like 111 pages through, the one thing that keeps recurring, the theme, is the fact that she's getting married now, which is so weird, because this girl is the same age as me. And she's going ahead and getting married for the worst possible reason, because something happens with Jeremiah and Belly, and that's why he's asking her to marry him. And like, I don't stand for that, but also she's very young, and so I'm waiting for her to wake up and realize this is a really bad idea. Listen to your surroundings, listen to your people around you, because this girl is my age. I cannot fathom that absolutely whatsoever. And she's planning on getting married in a couple of months, but me, with the same age as her, I still go ahead and look up videos wondering why my slime went wrong or whatever when I was in 6th grade making it without borax. So come tell me what's wrong with my life. Come tell me what I'm doing incorrect, because what is wrong with this girl? Truly, like, she's getting married at the same age wherein I am still mentally maturing. Her frontal lobe still hasn't developed, and she's making all these plans. So that's weirding me out a little bit. It's definitely getting me hyper overexcited or whatever, because like, she is not ending up with the brother I want her to end up with, at least at the moment. So we'll see if she ends up with Conrad. But she's getting married. And so that's really weird to actually come deal with or whatever to understand. But I feel like this is definitely something I'm reading at the right point in my life, because I feel like if I read these books at some other point, I don't know if I'd have related or connected to them as much as I am right now. It's just the whole marriage thing at the same age as me is what's throwing me off, which is why that's the only thought in my head right now. Apart from that, I do want to mention that this book has Conrad's perspective as well, which is so perfect because this one had Jeremiah's. And I do believe I said that I'm not sure if this is past and present. After I continue reading, it does have some of past timeline Belly's POV, but now we're getting Belly and Conrad, the moment I've been waiting for, and we've got only like a chapter or so in his perspective so far, but it's giving me everything I needed to give me. I'm so obsessed. That one chapter is the entire reasoning why I still love him, and I always will, because the Taylor Swift song, The Way I Loved You, that's literally her and Conrad. And so, listen, here I am, literally obsessed. That's one of my favorite songs ever. Can't wait to relate everything to them and about them. And I just went ahead and finished one scene specifically in this book. And I went and was scrolling on YouTube and actually ended up seeing this one short that was exactly that scene, but shown in what happens in the show. And I'm holding back tears because the way it's hitting right now is a little too hard. It's like throwing back on past timeline or whatever, but also giving present. I know I'm making no sense right now. It's a little too vague, but also when I give you my full spoilers vlog, I will speak about it. It's just the show is going to be so good, which is why I can't wait to continue reading all of this despite the wedding stuff that's throwing me off, because I just watched that edit of the show and it's getting me in the feels or whatever, and it's so well adapted to the point where it's exactly like the book. It's exactly what I pictured, but at the same time, it's hitting me a little too hard emotionally, so I know it's going to hurt and I know it's going to be perfect, and I can't wait to get to it. I can't wait to see what the hype is about. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep reading, but basically I just wanted to come in and say we have Conrad's POV in this one. I have gone ahead and seen edits of the show now, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but basically having the best time of my life. I cannot wait to continue watching and reading, so I'm gonna go do that. Probably come update now once I'm done with the book, because again, there isn't a lot I can mention without telling you to like skip the clips or whatever, because I don't want this to be a spoilers video, which is why here we are. I'm gonna go get back to it and I'll update you guys hopefully very soon with more thoughts on it, I guess, and once I'm done. But so far I will say this entire series is like a 5-star trilogy for me, even though I'm giving these books 4.5. Wow, did you all see that? And this book, I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know my rating, but once I will give you my rating. It's just, they aren't 5 stars, but the whole series as a whole, and once I get done with the show, is obviously 5 stars, so keep that in mind. This is the summer thing you need to start if you haven't already, and get on the hype train, because it's so real and it's so well and justified, and people need to be talking about this, because it's not hyped enough, even though it's already got all the hype online, at least in my opinion, which is why here we are. I'm gonna go get back to it, having the best time of my life, and so update you guys maybe in a little bit. Maybe I'll get my nails done, who knows. I've been saying that for so many days now, but we'll see. Also, this color of purple is literally gorgeous, my favorite color in the entire world, and I had to mention. But here we are. I'm gonna go now. Bye. I'm now halfway through the book, literally one sitting, have not been able to get up, so I have gone ahead and binged some more of this, and I just finished a Conrad chapter, which is why I'm coming back in to update and say, listen, I will always love this man no matter what happens, no matter who she ends up with, because the way we're getting his perspective now and his side of things, I feel like I'm loving him even more than I already do at the moment, and so I hope they end up together, and even if they don't, I still think he'll always own a piece of my heart, because that's just the way it's always gonna be. But also, one thing I do want to mention as a Conrad stan, I do believe the way Jeremiah's character arc has been followed through the past couple of books, I do think the author is a little biased against him. She's more biased in Conrad's favor, which is why his character arc was kind of thrown out of nowhere. There's some actions that happen at the beginning of the book that I don't think he would have done otherwise, but it had to be thrown in there so that you get more in the favor of Conrad, which is why here I am right now. I'm still loving Conrad, don't get me wrong, I always love him, but I do feel like honestly the turn Jeremiah's arc took, it didn't have to take that turn specifically, because that's very out of character for him. It just happened, and so it definitely is giving the vibes wherein Jeremiah will always go ahead and love someone else. It doesn't really matter, even if he doesn't get Belly or whatever, he'll still find someone else to fall in love with. Conrad and Belly, in my opinion, are fated mates, because no matter who they love, they'll always love each other the most, and they'll always go back to each other, and it's like that bright burning kind of love that will never fade away. And I do believe in one of the books, I don't remember which one, is described as the scar that they just don't want it to go. So it does feel that way, but also I am very confused with the way things are going right now as to who she's gonna end up with. So we'll see. Hopefully she ends up with the right brother. But even if she doesn't, I'm just coming in to say I'm loving the way the whole emotional storyline is carried. I just don't like the way Jeremiah's plot went, because he isn't like that. I don't see that coming, but at the same time, it happened. So I don't really care. It's fine. It's just something I wanted to mention, and now I'm gonna go get back to it. But yeah, these are the perfect, most comforting, I guess, wholesome summer romances you can read literally ever. This is like my new favorite series, and I can't wait to get back to it at some point. So if you want like a sign, go ahead and pick these books up because they're so good and easy to binge. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to mention before I go back into the book. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and hit chapter 38, page 191, and this is going to be probably my last update before I go ahead and finish this book out, because I'm binging the shit out of it. But also, I just finished a Conrad chapter, and I just wanted to say the way he only wants her to be happy, because throughout the past books, he still referenced his love for her in this roundabout way, but once you go ahead and see his perspective, you see the way he truly deeply loves her, and like, he's okay with her going away with Jeremiah, marrying Jeremiah despite everything that's going on, just because he wants to see her happy. It doesn't matter if she doesn't end up with him, he just wants to see her happy. He's okay for his heart breaking or whatever. And the thing he just did for her in this chapter, and he's just playing it off, like, the way he did that for her, like, stop, he is the perfect man literally ever, because he didn't have to. He's kind of supporting her and his brother, but he's doing it for her sake, just to keep her happy and just to obey like a promise. And like, that's just such a top tier thing to do. Honestly, I'm obsessed and I'm in love with him, but I just had to mention because no one would be that selfless except Conrad. And so the way it's done, I'm so sorry, I'm so addicted. This is like that first love kind of feeling wherein you'll always have butterflies, and this is giving me those butterflies. So here we are. I'm in my feels right now, feeling every single emotion through the series. At some point, I'm literally just trying to hold back tears because this man is so nice. He doesn't have to do that, but he's doing it anyway, and here we are. But also, one last thing I wanted to mention, look what just came in the mail. I've been waiting on a physical copy of this book since literally the day it came out, because it's been out of stock. But now that it finally came, I can't wait to go ahead and finish this. Not that I want to, I kind of want to hold off and, you know, preserve the ending for literally forever, because it's going to be over, and then after that I won't have any more books to get to in the series. But now I know exactly what to read afterwards, so I don't fall into a reading slump, because this series has definitely pulled me out of my reading slump. But now, once I'm out of this, once I'm done with it, I don't know how I'll be in terms of reading. So I know what I'm getting to next. Emily Henry's got me, she's coming in clutch or whatever, she's got my back. But until then, I have my perfect summer reads like lined up or whatever. It's the perfect day of my life, because I'm doing everything I love in terms of reading. And so I feel like this video definitely accomplished me getting out of my slump with you guys together. And also now I'm so excited and hyped up about it. But today is the best day ever. That's all I wanted to say. So I'm gonna go get back to it. But yeah, I have my reads planned out, and I have what I'm doing next planned out. I also have the fact that I'm gonna go ahead and binge the show as soon as I'm done with this planned out. But here we are, so excited to get to this now, and so excited to see how it concludes, because if she doesn't end up with the right brother, I don't know, I'll be a little sad. But here we are, I'm gonna go get back to it. One last thing I did forget to mention is the fact that, you know how I said the show came out like last week or whatever? Yeah, they're apparently releasing like one episode a week. It's not the whole show in like bulk release on the same day, which is why I think I might have to go ahead and push back my show watching, because I don't want to be waiting per week for an episode. What if it ends on like a cliffhanger or whatever, and what if I need to wait to the point where it's killing me? I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and start watching it right now, or I'm going to wait until the entire show released. So we'll see what happens. But regardless, I will give you a vlog once I'm watching that show. So that's coming. It's just I don't know when I'm watching, which is why it's going to be a little bit once I get back to this world after I finish this little bit, which is why I'm scared to see where it goes, and I'm trying to put it off by coming in constantly talking to you all. But at the same time, I'm so excited to see where it goes, because truly, I just want these people to be happy, every single one of them, despite who did what. And listen, they're my comfort characters. They're literally family to me. So Jenny Han better do them right. But here we are. I'm going to go finish it out now. I'm so excited and nervous and like anticipating this for like a week now, but at the same time I'm scared. So we'll see what happens, but I'll come update finally tomorrow, or maybe even tonight if I finish in like a couple of hours or so. But we'll see how it goes. So excited right now. So hopefully she doesn't make the wrong decision, because truly that's gonna hurt. But here we are. I'm gonna go get back to it, and I'll update you guys in a little bit, hopefully once I'm done with final thoughts. It sounds and feels so weird to say that, but yeah, see y'all in a little bit. Bye. Okay guys, so I went ahead and finished. I don't know what to say right now. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. My thoughts are all over the place, and so I will definitely cut this clip short in case I have more thoughts to add once I'm editing and I have everything collected and processed. But right now, I just wanted to come in and give like an unfiltered opinion as soon as I'm done kind of speaking about the book, because listen, I'm done. I will never read these books for the first time ever again, and so I am kind of heartbroken over that, but I'm happy I read them regardless because they found me at the exact right time they had to find me in my life. I related to these characters, I cried over these characters, I felt happy for them, I was giggling and swooning and feeling everything, and so they feel like family. They will forever own like a piece of my heart and soul. I feel like my brain chemistry is forever altered after having read these books, and I feel like I'm never gonna heal and be the same person I was before having read them. This was such a wild journey, but I'm happy we took it regardless, and I'm kind of mad at myself for not having like done this sooner, but at the same time I'm happy it found me at the time it found me right now, because like I said, it was the right time, everything aligned for good reason, and I'm happy. I feel so great about it, and so let's process kind of together. For a quick final breakdown, I feel like the way this book ended, I feel like the whole journey, the whole healing arc almost behind it was honestly beautiful, and I know people online will say that listen, we needed more time with her and the person she finally ends up with at the very end to kind of see them settle into forever life and stuff, to kind of see the conclusion, kind of see them happy together. But I feel like the whole point of this is to watch them fall for each other and watch them kind of heal over the things that happened, the events and the trauma, and kind of move on past it and still choose each other at the very end to show that true love always prevails and stuff. And so I feel like the way it was carried out, to me, it felt beautiful, it felt full circle and perfect. And I feel like the way this one actually has specific bonus content at the very end, it's got letters. I feel like that's the exact stuff I needed at the very end to round it out, and so I'm happy with the way it ended. I feel like it was at the perfect point, and I feel like it didn't give us too much, but at the same time it didn't give us too little. It was just the perfect amount. It was done so perfectly and correctly, and so now I can't wait to start the show, even though I'm a little scared that it'll end in some sort of cliffhanger and then I'm gonna have to wait like a week for an episode. But at the same time, now back about the books, because that's what we're here to discuss. I feel like it gave me everything it had to give, and so it was perfect in my opinion. And I know people online will, nitpick at it, fuss and complain. I don't care. This was everything to me. I'm gonna say 4.5 stars again until I go ahead and process my thoughts out over the next couple days, and as I'm editing the video I'll have my final ratings on screen. But so far, all of them, I'm giving them 4.5 stars, every single book in the series. But the series as a whole, all 3 of them together, are definitely 5 stars for me. This is just such a comfort series to me at this point that I can't wait to go ahead and recommend this to everyone and have my little sister now go ahead and read my copies in line after me, because this is something every girl should probably experience at least once in her life, because the way it makes me feel, I need more people to feel that way about books, because this actually brought back my love for reading again. It got me out of my slump, and so I'll always associate these books specifically with such like a warm fuzzy feeling in my heart. They'll always make me feel that way, and so I'm happy I read this, happy I got to it. Again, there's a lot I should be speaking about, but personally I found it honestly perfect. I just don't have it in me to go ahead and nitpick at specific things, which is why to me this will forever be my favorite book literally ever, like a summer book. And so happy I read this, happy I got to it, and happy the hype was real, which is why I'm happy I'm not disappointed. I'm happy it crossed and surpassed my expectations, and I'm happy I got around to reading it finally, because 3 summers later I finally found one of my favorite series of all time, Summer I Turned Pretty, and here we are. I definitely will say I'm not complaining, but I do believe we could have gotten a little more at the end of our characters who she ended up with and more of their life. But also I feel like it did end at the perfect point where it had to, because all these books were kind of following Belly's life and Belly's journey about who she's going to finally choose and end up with, and who she's going to pick and have a finally happily ever after with. So I feel like this was perfectly done in that sense. It was rounded out, and listen, to me this is everything. So I'm happy I read this, and I'm happy it gave me everything it had to give. And again, if I have more thoughts I'll cut this clip and come speak about them, but for now I'm happy I read this. So this is a 5-6 star series probably at this point for me, and I can now finally go ahead and say I've read the Summer I Turned Pretty books. Okay, so I'm hopping back in like 10 seconds later because I completely forgot to mention the fact that all of these books specifically feel like there's one specific nostalgic summer memory that you had from vacations you spent over the summertime as a kid when you had like summer holidays and stuff. And so you've forgotten that specific memory, but now looking back as a grown adult or whatever, dusting all those photo albums, you're kind of remembering that one specific day spent over one specific summertime and that one specific memory that took place. And all of these books feel like that's sort of olden nostalgic vibe or whatever. So I don't know if I'm making sense, but that's definitely something you can consider if that's the kind of vibe you're looking for. once you go ahead and pick these up, because it feels like something you've experienced in the past but not really. But at the same time, it could be something you do experience if you go look back on photo albums from the past and kind of discuss with people who saw you when you were younger or whatever, growing up, because that's what it gives me. It's giving coming of age, teenage rom-coms almost, but also the whole growing up themes or whatever, with like family and summer and friendship and love and all the vibes that everything has to give. And yeah, it just feels full round circle, everything perfect to me. Okay, so it's my editing self coming in with a few more final thoughts, because I have gone ahead and I think somewhat processed this series, and I have a couple more things I wanted to add to what I've already said in the vlog, because it's been 2 weeks I've had the time to sit with my thoughts. And so basically now, specifically about the Semi Turned Pretty, these books, I feel like the entire series, it feels like such an experience that everyone should be allowed to have at least once in their lifetime, because there's truly something about it that always going back, I don't know, I'm just gonna be wonderfully in love with. And I love the way it's just handled and done. Now specifically about Conrad, because I think throughout the video we all noticed like a recurring theme. I looked back on it while I was editing as well, and from day one I've been team Conrad, and for good reason, because when I look at it online, people generally hate his character because he's the sort where he's moody and silent and like emotionally unavailable. But I feel like if you look at him as a complex character, he has all the nuance that makes him more realistic than anything, because he's not moody or like silent per se. He's more of the sort wherein he chooses to be silent to protect the ones he loves, because he's the kind of ship wherein he has to stay strong no matter what kind of storm comes through him. When everything's literally falling apart with his family and his life and everything else that's going on in the background, he has the pressure of kind of staying put together for the rest of them to be able to break down. And so obviously he's a teenager, he's trying not to buckle under that pressure, he's trying to withstand all of it all, and in the midst of all of that, he's choosing to remain silent as a form of, I guess, protecting his loved ones or whatever. And I really love the way that's shown, because you kind of need to understand the emotional maturity that comes with such a decision rather than comment on it. And you know, people who hate on him, I will never understand them truly, because this is just something you need to kind of figure out as you look into his character and whatever. Even his relationship specifically with Belly, he isn't the sort wherein he's like manipulative or whatever. Jeremiah, sorry, don't come after me. And he's not like trying to change her decisions, he's standing behind whatever. And again, he's choosing silence and he's choosing to let her go regardless of everything, because he loves her and he knows that he just wants the best for her. And so if that means not being with him, it's fine as long as she's happy. And so it kind of shows you that he's not holding her as this like trophy prize or whatever. He's holding her truly as the person he loves, and he only wants the best for her, and that is true love right there. So that's all I'm gonna say. Now say what you will, honestly. If you want to hate on me for it, I don't even care. Hate me, but I'm gonna love that man forever. And so I'm really happy I read these books, because I got to experience his character and kind of see everything that comes with it. When you look over as a whole at Conrad's character, I feel like even Jeremiah went through a bunch of stuff, because obviously they're in the same family, they're going through some of the same struggles or whatever. But I feel like the way he dealt with it and the way he processed it, he comes across as emotionally unavailable, but that's because he wants to be able to dedicate his full self into loving someone truly, and he cannot do that when he's stuck with all this internal chaos that's coming with all the external influences around him and the way that's affecting him. And so I really love the way it's maturely showing him holding out instead of directly like jumping into things with Belly, Jeremiah in the third book, wherein he's actually taking time to process what he's feeling and kind of deal with that before anything else. And so I don't know, I really love the way it was handled. Team Conrad for life. Do not come after me, or come after me if you want to. If loving him is a crime, I'm gonna do it anyway. And yeah, honestly, looking back, the series is 5 stars. Maybe I will up my rating if I keep thinking about it at the progressive, hyperactive level I am right now, but this is how I feel. Also, when you take a step back from the entire thing and you look at this from the perspective of an outsider, not someone who's reading the books actively or from like a character's POV, literally just from someone from outside, Conrad as a character, he's kind of like a man of very few words. So when he speaks, every time he opens his mouth, it's almost like a precious prize moment that you want to hold back and cherish. And so I feel like those moments just come sweeter and make the slow burn even better, because obviously it takes 3 books to like progress and show you the kind of love story Belly gets. But I feel like the impact of that is made even better with Conrad as one of the supporting love interests or whatever, because every time he comes into a scene, you're like anticipating it, because you hardly get any of him. So the crumbs that you do get, eat, and they're so good. And listen, I'm obsessed, because not only that, he's also a man who does rather than tells. Because if you look at Jeremiah's character, I'm not trying to bash on Jeremiah or like hate on stands out there or whatever, I feel like the kind of choices and decisions he make that lead him up to this book specifically, they were out of character for him, do not get me wrong, but he still did them in this book anyway. And then the stuff he chose to respond with or deal with afterward, the kind of way he decided to move on from it, truly shows him as a character more on the basis of the stuff that he did. And I will say his actions are more tell in that sense or whatever, like he's always telling Belly stuff or telling his feelings or whatever, or just telling things. He's not actually showing it. Conrad is more show. Even a couple of perspectives in this, like I didn't really say anything on it or whatever, but I had like a vague clip mentioning the fact that Conrad's doing all these things. He's doing all this stuff that he doesn't need to be doing, especially because Belly's ending up with Jeremiah. They're like literally getting married in this book or whatever. But he's still doing it as part of show rather than tell, because he loves her and he's willing to let go if that means her happiness. But he's showing rather than telling the way Jeremiah does. And I feel like that's also a difference in their, I guess, love languages or whatever. And, you know, it just shows their emotional maturity as characters. And I feel like it's very well fleshed out to show you who's actually better off than who and who's more in the water than who. Again, not hating on anyone, is just something I thought of and wanted to mention. Back to the video now, because that's all the thoughts I wanted to give you that I feel like I missed out in the heat of the moment, because I was too excited over the fact that I finished in that second. And now looking back on it, now that I've had the time to kind of sit with my thoughts, these are just the things that keep coming in to my front conscience or whatever that I just wanted to mention, because it hasn't come up even once in the video for some reason, and it's just stuff I've thought of but I didn't really speak about. So here we are talking about it, and now back to the vlog. So now we've reached the end of this vlog. Very soon I will go ahead and start recording giving my reactions for watching the Some Might Turn Pretty show or whatever for the very first time. So stay tuned if you want to see what I think of that, how I compare it with the book, and see if the adaptation is somewhat similar or whatever, and we'll, you know, see compare notes or whatever. But as we go along with that, I will take a little bit of a break, because now I'm feeling a little emotionally spent. And listen, I don't know how to feel right now. My emotions are all over the place. I just know I'm never going to heal and recover and move on from this. So while my mind is still going to be stuck in this world forever, I have to go maybe record some other videos, which is why until then, thanks for coming along with me in today's vlog. I hope you had a fun time coming along, and if you did, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them. And until I see you next week, take care. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And now maybe I'll go read the next Emily Henry book. Maybe I'll go take a break, because that's probably what my brain needs, and, you know, go ahead and process these books before I jump into binging the show. But regardless of what I do, I think I can officially say that we don't have to worry anymore. My slump is gone and it's been cured, and these books wholeheartedly drive me out of it. So nothing to worry about now. We will see what I do end up reading, but until I go record that vlog, I'll see y'all hopefully next week. And yeah, pray for me that things just keep up with the way these reads are going. I keep up with my high ratings at this point, and so recommend me stuff in the comments. But until then, I'll go figure out what I'm doing. And yeah, that's it for this video. So happy we finally did this, and it's kind of like a surreal moment wherein I just cannot believe the fact that it's finally happening 3 years down the line, but it is. So here we are. I've finally gone ahead and read these books, the most perfect stuff I've ever read in my life. Please go read them if you haven't already. And now I'm actually going to shut the camera, because I'll be ranting the entire year if I have to about these. So that's it. See y'all. Thanks for watching, and see you next week. Bye.